What happens when you take 3D Sonic but make it a good game? Can I also take more time in this video than it takes to finish just like Mini? Can I make this one the biggest, most comprehensive and definitive Toree video on YouTube? I may or may not answer these and more questions when we take a good look at Toree 3D. My name is Felipe Pereira Sibioni, and this is the FPS Factor. Now, let's speed up this review in parts. Toree 3D is a speed-focused, bite-sized 3D platformer where you must rescue what has been taken from you by the enemy. With great low poly graphics, groovy music and gameplay like we've wanted from other series and didn't get for a long time, it's impossible not to love it. It was made by the wonderful developer Toree, released in 9 of April 2021. It costs 99 cents full price. You don't even need to think about it to get this title, don't need to wait for any sale or anything else. But if you wanna think about it, absorb the knowledge of all aspects of the game when we take a good look at graphics and aesthetics. Lovely low poly 3D graphics. Toree really knows how to invoke that mid to late 90s feel for a game. It's fantastic. Toree, a small yellow chick with oversized shoes, a backpack and sunglasses, making him look very cool, obviously. In winter levels he has cold gear with earmuffs and muffler added. His idle animation is him bobbing his head to the music. Very nice, I love idle animations. His animations overall are very nice. His feet waddles around when he runs. His body stretches and squishes. Perfect. The enemies also look very good. The ducks and bees look so goofy, it's cute. There are other enemies state specific. They are appropriately themed too. I'll talk more about them when we take a good look at locations. There are also the stars that you collect. They are cutely drawn, they are in 2D. Very different here. The stages themselves are very colorful with great aesthetic sense. You can distinguish easily where you are headed to. Marvelous. The draw distance is very good. The developer didn't want to restrict this aspect as opposed to a PS1 game. With fog, etc., you can see the whole stage, you can see the whole map of where you are. Textures are also marvelous, they're perfect. Visual effects, you have a few, like dust clouds when Toree jumps, runs, stars as he lands. The tornado effect is very nice. Everything is perfect here. No notes, as people say. As a game inspired by Sonic, it's no surprise it has two different soundtracks, old and new. more than one Siactro game that do this. The initial soundtrack was made up of licensed and music library music tracks. Those guys have no chill at all. In the game Valky 64, the one from my very first video, the game used this kind of music too. I used the music in the video, and I got the video copyrighted for using gameplay footage featuring the music that appears in the game. I even appealed and said it was used in the game. I'm using it. It's fair use. But no, they didn't budge. No, it's used here. Thus, I will not be using the old tracks in this video. Fortunately, the new soundtrack is phenomenal. It was composed by Kamikaze Beach, and frankly, it fits much better. They are meant to be a homage to a Mega Drive to Dreamcast era Sonic, with MIDI tracks coexisting with more rock focused ones. They do have some leitmotifing with the main theme of Toree 3D, but mainly each set of acts that make up a stage are more heavily leitmotifed, making together a sort of full track. I do love it very much. They are mostly high energy, as you would expect, except for the snow stages. They take more of a main theme than the others. You can get the soundtrack at Kamikaze Beach's Bandcamp page, but not on Steam. What can you do? The sound effects are very cute. Toree's shoes squeak as he runs, and there are nice sounds for everything else like collecting stars and jumping, etc. As always, the sound effects fit the game. There's even a little bit of voice acting, because Toree has a couple lines for when finishing the stage and a few grunts here and there. There's also your nemesis, he laughs too. Both very good, very nice. I love it. When you have a game that's as condensed as this, you can't afford any time to spare telling a lengthy story. So from the main menu, you already have the story being told. Here you have the thief looming over Toree, ready to snatch his ice cream. When you start the first stage, you have a in-game cutscene. Basically, it is the thief with the ice cream running away. You are running after him. Couldn't be simpler. You must get your ice cream back. Run through all the stages and confront him to get your ice cream back. Very nice. He appears in one form or another in almost all of the stages. I couldn't find him in the ice stages, however. I don't know. Outside of that, basically you have the mood setting for the game, where you can tell how the world is. There are a few spooky elements here and there. It makes the world feel a little bit scarier. But don't worry, you are a hero. You are Toree. Now we have options here, better than Beanie already. Music and sound effects are together in a single slider, better than not having it at all. There's also a sensitivity slider for the analog, an unexpected surprise, but a welcome one. You can also revert both X and Y axis on your controllers separately. Impressive. You also have the option to play with the new or the old soundtrack. Very good. It is, however, missing all the rest of the things like VSync, etc. What can you do? It's a start. As for the controls, they are such. You can move with your analog, which is a staple for 3D platformers for a reason. You can move 360 degrees. You cannot use the D-pad on your controller for some reason. I have no idea. Your movement is smooth, but you do have a sharp turn lag if you don't make an U-turn, just like in Mario 64, so you gotta plan your movements accordingly. Your movement speed is not very high if you don't hold the button that lets you run. Then your movement is passable, I'd say. There is it running also lets you jump farther and higher. There is a jump button. Your jump is smaller than you would expect, but you do have a double jump that lets you reposition yourself easily. You can control yourself as you like during the jump. There is also a tech that you can do, which is jumping after going off the ledge, just like in Donkey Kong Country 2. If you time it right, you can go off the ledge, jump, and then double jump. I love this technique. I wish it was implemented in a lot more platformers, and I miss it very, very much in Donkey Kong Country Returns. It is a shame it's not there, but what can you do? You can adjust your camera manually with the right analog, or simply reposition the camera behind you with a trigger press. That's it. Very simple. That's all you need for a simple platformer like this. Now let's take a good look at gameplay systems to see what you are going to use this control for. The gameplay loop is as follows. You run to the end of the stage, avoiding the enemies, collecting the stars, interacting with the various stage elements until you reach the goal. Then you select another stage, do it all over again. Very simple. The stages themselves are large routes, but basically no shortcuts. It's mostly a single route for each stage. They take from 1 to 3 minutes each to complete. They aren't very long. The game has 9 stages, but I'd say it's more 4 stages, Act 1 plus 2, and the final stage, since it's closer to the Sonic formula. But this is also improved in this game because you can choose any stage to play at any order you want, except for the final one that is locked, until you beat all 8 stages. The stage traversal itself is also better than 3D Sonics in general. I have yet to play Frontier, so I will refrain from saying it's better than all 3D Sonic games for now. It is better because you can actually platform here. You are in an adequate speed to interact with the elements of the stage, to see the enemies, have the chance to dodge them, etc. It's not a corridor that you zoom past. You can't even appreciate the place you are. I really did not like the transition of Sonic from 2D to 3D. Toree 3D is how we do it, Cider. Take notes. Now for the elements of the stage and surrounding, they are as such. You have the stars. In every stage you will find stars to collect. The number varies from stage to stage. If you collect them all, you get a golden star on the stage select screen. There are enemies in the stage. They stick to their pathing. For the most part, they don't chase you. But as there is no health system, if you are hit by any of them, you die on the spot. Whenever you die, either by hitting an enemy or falling out of the stage, you restart at the beginning of the level, or if you raised a checkpoint flag, you restart at the last one. There's no live systems also, you simply have infinite tries. Very nice. When finishing the stage, you have a rank. You are ranked on your time to complete the stage. Only that. Fortunately, you don't need to get all the stars and then complete the stage fast. You can do each one separately. The ranking though is kinda strict. Initially I couldn't get past C. Also it is of note that dying and then coming back to the last checkpoint does not reset your time to when you passed it. It continues on, so if you wanna get a good rank, you will have to do it all in a single life without dying. Or if you die close enough to the checkpoint, there's not much problem. But bear in mind that it is very strict. It's kinda hard to get A or S. You have C, B, A and S. This is the system. It is a small game, as I said in my Mangavania, a good look at. A small game is perfect for speedrunning, so if you are a speedrunner, this game is also a good fit for you. Very nice, I love it very much. Basically this is it for gameplay elements. The particular stage elements I'll take a good look when we take a good look at locations. No enemy in the game actually attacks you, except for a single exception, but that enemy is very slow, so there's no combat per se here. You have also no way of attacking any of the enemies. The difficulty of the game comes from the platforming itself. The enemies, I'd say, are more obstacles than anything else. You will not have a lot of problem here if you are in any shape or form accustomed to 3D platformers. There are a couple of times that you have to wait a little bit before jumping to the next platform because they move around and it might give anxious people a bad time, but nothing too serious. This is a relaxed game. Even if you fail a lot of times, the stages are small enough that any number of retries aren't a big issue. You can basically play the whole game in a single sitting. This is an excellent game to just unwind. The difficulty here is kinda low, don't worry about it. The game starts with that wonderful Seattle splash screen, taking you directly to the main menu. Here we see the story being already told to you moments before your ice cream is stolen by that guy. We have this font, it is used throughout the game. It is bold with nice colors and a thick outline. I love this font. Obviously, Toree himself is the icon to use when selecting stuff. It is to be expected. There's only 3 places to go from here: start the game, options, or quit. Starting the game takes you to the character select screen with a background full of Torees that continue on to the stage select. During gameplay, you have a star count to the top left and time on the stage to the top right. That's all you need on this game. In the pause menu, you can go to the options, you can restart the level or exit the level to the level select or go back, continue. As for the camera, it is behind the shoulder type. It is a good distance from you. You cannot change this distance, unfortunately. It stays focused on you, initially in a downwards angle. You can take it up a bit, but not too much. It is a shame because you can't see the scenery that well because of it. But don't worry, the other characters will help you with that. The analog camera is not very fast. I mainly use the button, the trigger, for snapping the camera back to you. It's much faster, it's much better this way. As I talked about them in the gameplay section, I will divide them here and talk about the stages that go by the same theme as acts. As always, environment, when I say the word environment, I mean the parts of the stage you interact with, and background is the part that is not interactable. Let's go with stage 1, which is composed of Glamour City and Starry Sky. Stage 1 is composed of Glamour City and Starry Sky. The Act 1 is Glamour City. The environment is composed of the top of these purple buildings with a background of a pink sky, and the lower part of the city is obscured via a blue fog. Very vaporwave, I love it. Loads of big smiling stars are floating uncomfortably close to the stage. There's some kind of space distortion too, showing here and there, showing some type of code, just like the thief has in his chest. In this stage, you will find basically all the stage elements that happen throughout the game, such as the speed pads. They speed you up when you pass through them, and after a little bit, the tornado machines, they shoot you up, and cranes that when you step on them, and as long as you are in them, they will transport you in a quarter circle to another place. Here the enemies are ducks and bees. They just go side from side, and they will appear in every stage, so I will not keep mentioning them every stage. I'll just talk about enemies that are new enemies that appear, unless it's a specific point of that stage. Act 2, Starry Sky. There are more stars now in here, and there's more obvious space distortion all around. Some buildings are either crooked or move up and down or side to side. Seems like this space has been distorted by something. Some stars here, when you approach them, they take a turn for the worse. They were already kind of creepy, but their eyes and mouth start jittering. It turns the hue of the whole stage itself orange. It distorts the music, and they start coming closer to you. They are slow, but they will get to you if you don't run from them. They will kill you, given enough time. Take care and run. Stage 2: Sea Mama's Harbor and Windy Ocean. The Act 1 is Sea Mama's Harbor. You are in the sea, with your environment being metal platforms, with rails to the side and warnings of high difference. Very OSHA compliant. 10 out of 10. You have this big squid, possibly a kraken, in the middle of the stage and tentacles all around. These tentacles hold and move some platforms. That can be considered background because if you try to touch them, you just pass right through them. No problem. This stage has lots and lots of tornado machines all around. Very nice. Act 2: Windy Ocean. We are going out of the harbor into the sea, still with metal platforms, but with a destination this time: the ship. Still loads of tornado machines here. When you get to the aircraft carrier, you have various jets all around, control tower and speed pads. Very nice, I love this section. Stage 3: Slidey Ice and Hungry Mountain Peak. The Act 1 is Slidey Ice. You are on top of a big ice block with others in the rest of the stage, with snow on top of them and big pink crystals dotting the environment. Snow falls all around the purple sky. As the name suggests, there are sections where you have platforms without the snow, just ice. It is very slippery. Here, you just go around jumping platform to platform, sliding around the ice. Very cute, very comfy, as they say. But there is a monster here. He doesn't move. It's this creepy guy. It's actually a big eel, not just a mouth. You can see it right here. Act 2: Hungry Mountain Peak. Here, same thing as last time, except we have a new enemy. It's these snow mounds that are actually creatures that pop up when you get close to it. Spooky. Stage 4: Neo Osaka and Edge Runner. The Act 1 is Neo Osaka, a cyberpunk city, obviously at night. You are at the top of buses and trucks on a highway. Loads of buildings and neon signs with Japanese language advertisement are around, as the cyberpunk aesthetic dictates. The buses and trucks are the platforms. The highway is the death zone, beware of that. They game will actually, some of the buses and trucks, the vehicles, they will move closer and further away from one another, making your timing in this stage very important. Some trucks will have ice, tornado machines or conveyor belts on top of them. Very nice. Act 2, Edge Runner. Here we have an additional highway to go to the right. You go around, same thing as last time, and right at the end of the stage there's a highway above where it's a mess of stuck vehicles. I love this section, look at this, I love it. Here we have beasts, they move at high speed back and forth. If you are aiming to get the stars, you have to be careful with them. Now you have completed all 8 levels to unlock the last one. To talk about it, let's head up to the ending section. Why don't we? Here we are, finally, stage 5, It's World. You gotta confront the guy who stole all our ice cream, this Cyber Green Reaper guy. He's all around being giant and such, having multiple copies of him. Very arrogant, I'd say. He is actually just background, he doesn't do anything to us, he's just floating around. If you try to touch him, you just pass right through him. His level consists of a space where you can find elements from all other stages, plus some of his own. It's these big purple metal cylinders with metal grates. Outside that, it's all disparate elements in a black void. Run to the end of the stage, where you can find your beloved treat awaiting you at the goal. You have done it. Nice. You are then treated to the credits with an image of Toree enjoying his ice cream finally. Credits roll, then you unlock the second character, Macbeth. I am not sure if you need to collect all the stars to unlock Macbeth or if it's just finishing the game, because I accidentally collected everything before that. I forgot to do it both ways, but what can you do? Macbeth from Macbeth 64, it's another Seattle game. He's a bat, if you couldn't tell from his name. He can jump an infinite number of times, thus he basically flies all around. This renders the platforming part of the game null. Basically you can just go to the end of the stage flying, no problem at all. It makes for a good way to goof around, find secrets and Easter eggs that are hidden. This game has Easter eggs aplenty, like additional characters, posters hidden from sight. Just be careful, as loads of objects that are not part of the main path don't have any collision, meaning you cannot interact with them, you pass right through, and sometimes you let go thinking you are going to land on the platform. No, you go to the death zone. There is a third character to unlock, but you gotta reach A rank on all stages, and I'm not the speedrunner type of game player, is what I would say if I wasn't such a pro MLG game player. I unlocked it. Yeah, let's go. Actually, it's not that difficult to get an A. You just need to try a couple of times, learn the stage, run, don't stop, don't die. You will get an A eventually in all of the stages. Then you unlock Tasty. He runs faster. It's very satisfying to control him. Here's a picture of him with himself in a picture. Very nice. I love it. The game takes about 20 to 30 minutes to finish with Toree only, then 10 minutes more to goof around with Macbeth. You might get some 20 to 30 more minutes to unlock Tasty. It's not a very lengthy experience, but sure is a satisfying one. Sadly, as with all the other Ciactro games, there's no achievements to be found here. I would like it very much to say what I'd like to see in the game. Let's hop on to the last section, wishlist and conclusion. Toree has, aside from this one, 2 sequels out already, 1 more on the way, so I can't say what I want for the next installment because we already have an installment, but we gotta first take a good look at them, right? I will do that. I will have all Ciactro games, as I said before, here on the channel. I will take a good look at every single one of them. I absolutely love this game, all the games that Ciactro makes. They're perfect. No, they're not perfect because they're missing things that I want to see in them. For this one, I'd love to see more options, like VSync, for example. Achievements, trading cards. Let me give you more money, Mr. Ciactro. Once again. Same thing for all other Ciactro games. I wanna see achievements. I wanna see trading cards from them. As I said, I'll cover them all in due time. In conclusion, Toree 3D is an excellent start of a great series from a marvelous developer that knows what he and the other game players want and implements it in an impeccable manner. Do get this game. You don't even need to wait for a sale. Look at this price, 99 cents. As I said, do get it. Don't miss out. Anyway, thank you so very much for everyone who watched the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.